All right. Maybe we got it now. We had to go old school with it. We are uh, we are live from a cell phone. That is a budget way to do it, but it should work. And we may not have to deal with any type of internet connectivity issue. And we're just gonna rely on some T-Mobile 5G, and we're gonna hope for the best there. See if we can get Joe back. All right.
Fingers crossed.
All right. There we go.
Fingers crossed.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right. It plugged you into a phone.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna do this on a phone. We're gonna try that out.
Okay.
All right. All right, big guy. Hey, get it? Here, it's for you. This is what happens whenever you hire a puppet as your producer.
I see that.
Hey, don't blame me. I think that little guy who was chasing me around earlier chewed through a wire.
Okay, we'll blame it on the wire. You're right. The little guy hit the wire.
Yeah, that little guy was chasing me. Probably bit through something. He looked like some sort of a savage animal anyway. Wow, real close.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Have my sister fix it for you, okay?
Yeah, I probably should. She can fix everything. Let me go get her.
Okay.
All right. Now that we've had plenty of technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
Where were we?
AEW is the rant.
AEW 3 shows. Yeah. Trying to tell stories for 3 shows. I don't man, I don't know if they can. Like
in order to do it, they're gonna need like some more producers, like really good producers. I'd be surprised they got Vince Russo.
Dude, they ain't gonna hire Vince Russo. Nobody's hiring Vince Russo.
I mean, hey, it could just be fun. If he did it 2 good episodes, I'm sure they'll hire him. But just 2 episodes, 2 matches, whatever. I don't care if he did 2 matches. It'll be good. It'll be funny. But hey.
You want to hear my Vince Russo impression?
Go for it.
Bro. Just put everything on a poll, bro. Nobody, good and evil, nobody even understands that. No, bro. Put it on a poll. That's my Vince Russo.
he did have a lot of pole matches. I ain't gonna lie about that. There was a lot of pole matches.
Yeah, man. I don't understand. Vince Russo's, the fact that he still has notoriety in pro wrestling amazes me. Like, I'm blown away by it. I'm very blown away by Vince Russo still being relevant in pro wrestling somehow. The other thing that kind of equally kind of blows me away, as much as I respect some of his opinions on things and some of the things he did, I'm really blown away that Eric Bischoff still maintains relevancy in pro wrestling, and that so much of the internet wrestling community hangs on things that Eric Bischoff has to say.
I mean,
And his claim, Eric Bischoff's claim to fame in professional wrestling, this thing that like sets him apart from so many others. And yeah, he's worked in the business. I haven't. He ran WCW. I did. Sure. Okay. Before people jump in comments and try to drag me for this, hear me out.
All right, let's hear it.
Eric Bischoff in WCW only won for 83 weeks. 83 weeks.
83 weeks.
To the point that he calls his podcast 83 weeks. He was in first place for 83 weeks of a company that he didn't build from the ground up. WCW was established and was part of the NWA. So it wasn't like he started something from the ground up and made it special. He took talent from other promotions, much as everybody else did. So like that whole rating of ECW, okay, I give him a pass there. But he only won for 83 weeks, and he believed he was going to put Vince out of business. Not with his own capital, not with money he made that funded this business. It was all Ted Turner money. It was all corporate money. It wasn't Eric Bischoff's money that made WCW be the victors for 83 weeks. They won for 83 weeks because they had deep pocketbooks that didn't matter how much money they lost. And they could only win for 83 weeks with unlimited money streams. That's the only time frame that dude could run a wrestling promotion to win was 83 weeks. And Vince then whooped his ass and drove him out of business. And this guy still hangs his hat on 83 weeks. He lost. Catastrophically ran that promotion into the ground from being the top thing on cable to being the worst program on TV. And he still says, yeah, 83 weeks. I could tell people how to run a wrestling promotion today. He could not run one successfully in 1999. And he's trying to talk shit about Tony Khan and AEW in 2023. Blows my mind. Just blows my mind that people care what Eric Bischoff thinks in 2023.
Okay.
I just don't get it.
In my opinion, I'm going back Eric Bischoff on this. I'm going back E. Let me back E on this song. I feel that 83 weeks, you got to think about it, 83 weeks. I don't know how many months that is. We ain't going to go through that difficulty right now. But hey, 83 weeks. That's
just shy of 2 years.
2 years. There we go.
About a year and a half. It's a year and a half.
Okay,
83 weeks is a year and a half. It's 18 months, basically.
Okay, we'll say a year and a half. Now think about it. Year and a half. Bam! You killed the top wrestling company in the world for 83 weeks. You made money. You had you had some good storylines during that 83 weeks. But
you never gave me what that good storyline was. What that good story was Eric Bischoff told.
Hey, let me just get to the point. The point of the matter is this. Let me just get to my point here. During that 83 weeks, it was the best moment in his life, career. But he only blew it because every 83 weeks, he told what was going to happen on Raw the next day. Or that night. My bad, the night. He told. And that one night ruined it for 83 weeks. Now, the reason why he's good in the business because after WCW did close the door, WWE hired him. Vince hired him because Vince believed in him. Vince liked what he did.
You think that's why Vince hired Eric Bischoff?
Yes, I do. I'm saying.
I think Vince hired Eric Bischoff just to be able to fire him.
No. Did you watch the little, what is it called? Controversy Creates Cash?
Yeah.
He even talks about how Vince hired him. He talks about how Vince showed him some more things about wrestling business and even how Vince took him under his wing and just let him do certain things, but he still had to get Vince's approval on the shows.
And you know what? He took all that education from being underneath the learning tree of Vince McMahon and all that schooling, and he really went and made TNA Impact a worldwide leader in professional wrestling, didn't he? I'm being sarcastic, man.
I mean, if you think about it, he kind of did. They took away the six-sided rings, made it traditional 4.
The six-sided ring was great.
It was great, yeah, but then you got to think about it. You got to do traditional now. You got to go back to the traditional 4. Make it easier for all the lovely high flyers and everything. Even X Division steel cage match, all them, it was good.
Six-sided ring was fantastic.
It was. But
It was the best thing they had going for them. It really made them. It really made them be something different. They stood out. I think the early 2000s TNA Impact six-sided ring was really, I don't know. I think it was
good. I ain't gonna lie. It
was given up on too soon. I think that it was something they should have kept because I think it really made a different product. And I think as you've seen the rise of MMA and an octagon, having a hexagon wrestling ring, they really could have slowly changed the product and the in-ring style to being more of a shoot style. And I think they could have rode the wave of the MMA blowing up in the 2010s. And I think Impact, it wouldn't have been a competitor of WWE, but it would have been the alternative. And I think it would have been great. I think Bischoff getting rid of the six-sided ring was more signs of the fact that Eric Bischoff's best days were probably back in Minnesota working for Vern Gagne or something.
Well, I don't think it was Eric that wanted it gone. It was more like Hogan wanted it gone. Because Eric really didn't have a problem with it. It was just mostly Hogan who had a problem with the six.
And the fact that Eric Bischoff was always led around by his jock, by Hulk Hogan, through his entire time of running companies, just shows you what a piss poor leader Eric Bischoff truly is. But I digress. I don't want to spend the whole time shitting on Eric Bischoff because Eric Bischoff has said and done a lot of things I really do like. He had a TED Talk that I thought was fantastic, where he talked about how mainstream media completely ripped off pro wrestling and the controversy creates cash. If it bleeds, it leads. Red is green. That whole TED Talk he did was actually really pretty phenomenal. His mind for business is great. I'm a little blown away that Bischoff never found himself being an executive for any TV networks after his time with Turner and WCW.
He did.
I don't think he was.
No.
I would have thought.
He was on a network. It was like one of them little shopping networks. He was on it. He ran it. I forgot what it's called, but he was on one of them type of networks.
Yeah, I would have just thought he would end up. I mean, and I will shit on him hanging his hat on 83 weeks of being in first place and failing miserably. But that's just because he has so much criticism for people who are doing something bigger than he did. I hate to burst everyone's bubble who's an AEW hater, but AEW is more successful than WCW at this point. I don't care what you talk about revenue streams. As far as impact in pro wrestling, AEW has created a bigger impact than WCW did. We just have nostalgia attached to WCW. They only won for 83 weeks. AEW doesn't have to win anything because they're not trying to put WWE out of business because they know that's an impossibility. Eric really thought he was going to do it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this. Eric will still be in it right now, but he said in his biography, he just don't want to travel no more. He's done. He don't want to be on the road no more.
I think he's going to be on Raw tomorrow night.
He might be.
I think he might be one of the ones reading the stuff off, like RVD was. I will bring him in and have him do that, just for the shock value of it, because he's not going to be on AEW TV anymore. He has shit on them entirely too much. So they're not going to bring him in for any guest appearances like they did through the pandemic and early on. So I think they're going to bring him back for the draft. So what have you thought of the draft so far? You feel like people ended up in the right places?
I really thought they was going to break the Street Profits up. I thought they was going to separate them.
I'm glad they're not.
They did.
There needs to be a tag division.
Because when you seen Bianca get drafted, it was like, ooh. You know they don't want to separate the couples. But that's when they said Street Profit drafted SmackDown. I'm like, cool. They're not separating them. But the only downside is when they did the bloodline. They left out the Usos.
Yeah, and that didn't make any sense, to be honest. From the structure of what it was said to be, the separating the Usos out doesn't make sense. If anything, wouldn't Roman be the only lone guy? He's the only one not a brother. The
Yeah.
Usos and Solo are brothers. They should have been the cohesive group. Roman should have been the outsider.
But I think they trying to use Solo as Roman's like new bodyguard. Because if hypothetically, let's just say the Usos got drafted to Raw, that's it. No more. Well, technically, they're still a bloodline, but it'll just be Solo and Roman.
You think that's, man, maybe they could do that. That I could. That could be the route that they go. Definitely could be. Hey! I got something. Yeah, what's up? No, I want to say something. A few months ago, I told everybody that I thought Solo Sikoa was going to be the guy to turn on Roman Reigns. I thought Solo was sent by the elders in the family to watch Roman, to make sure he had everything in line. And I think this is the point where Solo turns on Roman. I think Roman's going to instruct Solo to attack the Usos, and he's not going to do it. I think he's going to beat up Roman.
You think he's going to beat him?
All right? That he's right. He did say that he thought that Solo was going to be the guy to turn on Roman. And I thought he was going to side with The Rock, but, I mean, that could still happen, right? We could still get The Rock.
Mm.
We're not getting The Rock. That's not happening, but I do think it could be that Solo's the guy who turns on Roman.
I don't know. It just I don't know yet. I can't see it just yet. Well, I can see it because if you think about it, Roman, his little schedule, Solo might get tired of just being there all week when Roman shows up, what, once or twice a month?
I think it's going to be a throwback to the OG storyline with Roman and Jey Uso and Jimmy. I think Roman's going to want Solo to join in on the beatdown of his brothers. And instead, Solo is going to beat down Roman. Now, I don't know where they go with that feud. If we get a Solo Sikoa Roman Reigns feud, if we get another Jey Uso Roman Reigns feud, and let this drag out until WrestleMania next year, and we pull the belt off Roman then? I don't know.
I know you don't like to read spoilers, but spoiler alert, they trying to make this title reign the longest in the history book. So, spoiler alert, if he does make it to 40, that will be what? I think they said 1,000.
Still won't beat Bruno.
I know,
To
but they want to
beat Bruno, he's got to hold it to like 2026 or something.
But they want to beat Hogan's. And if you think about it, if he holds it longer, that would be like, instead of Hogan having like all them separate times, Roman had like that long combined days.
I believe Roman Reigns should beat Hogan's title reign.
He will. What is it? 1,472, I think it is.
Yeah. People may not like that because a lot of people are mad at. The problem with Roman's title reign is that Roman doesn't win clean.
Hey, but you still cheer for him. You still like him.
I like the story. I like the longevity of the title reign. I think he has put together. I think this iteration of Roman Reigns and this title reign, the bloodline, I think Roman has finally come into his own. He's finally become the guy, like we were told he was supposed to be. The problem is that in his dominance, he hasn't looked dominant. He's always had to have assistance to pull off these big wins. The last time that I can think of that he won clean was Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania when he stacked every victory after that, every major victory. I think he's had assistance from someone in the bloodline. And so I don't think that like hurts like the legacy of his reign or anything. I think it hurts the pitching the product to people who are very casual, who only stop in on pay-per-views to see how the main event ends, and they always see the Usos or Solo being involved to assist Roman in the victory. Those of us invested in the storyline, those of us who are watching, we don't care. We get it. We know what it is. And it's that we have to believe that someone's going to be the guy, and right at the end of that match, they rip it away from us, that someone's the guy to steal it from Roman. The problem is, whenever you're dealing with a casual fan base, and every time they tune in, the guy who's the most dominant champion of the modern era is always getting an assist for the victory. I think it's hard to reel in those lapsed wrestling fans. I think it's hard to get them back.
But if you think about it, he's a heel with a group, a stable. The only way he will win clean if the next match happens in Hell in a Cell.
Here's my thing. As a wrestling fan, and you're wanting to see someone be the guy, just begging and pleading, you want someone to be the guy to take the belt off of Roman. It sucks when Solo interferes and takes it away, right? That sucks. It sucks when Jimmy and Jay interfere and they take it away from us. Man, it sure would suck if Roman Reigns just beat Cody Rhodes clean. That would really suck. Like, that would have hurt more at WrestleMania if Roman just beat Cody clean.
Mm-hmm.
The comeback story could be the same. It's the same. It's you were better than me that night. But at least the argument could be, you're the most dominant champion. Yeah, man, you were better than me that night. Instead of it always being your family won it for you. I think it doesn't hurt the legacy. It doesn't hurt the record book. It doesn't hurt it for us fans who are always enjoying the product. I think it hurts the lapsed fans. I think the lapsed fans have a hard time buying that Roman's the most dominant champ on the planet because they just keep dropping in.
I'll tell you my opinion. Here's one thing I think of. If you go back and watch WrestleMania, at the end of it, the ref, he literally saw the whole thing happen when they did the replay. He was standing right there. I'm surprised he didn't start the rematch. He was standing right beside Roman and Paul Heyman when they did the replay. And they actually showed Solo hit him with the spike. And the ref didn't really start the rematch.
Yeah.
Any other ref restarted it, but he didn't restart it. They just went on, played the music, showed that replay like, 3 times? And the ref was literally looking at the screen. The cameraman even went back to him, saw the cameraman look right at the screen. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see Roman just truly dominate a feud against somebody. I want to see Roman just really show his dominance again. And it doesn't have to be on Cody. It's just they need a reestablishment of someone being built up to be the guy, and Roman's able to show, hey, this guy's not the guy either. It could be, I don't know, man. It could be Ricochet.
Well, it's going to be a SmackDown, guy, so hey.
All right, let's build Ricochet up, give him a title shot with Roman, and let Roman just beat Ricochet clean. That'd be cool. I just think Roman needs to come out of one of these feuds looking super dominant to pull some lapsed fans back in.
Okay, well, if you, Mr. Storyteller, after the whole draft is over with, who would you say could do it on SmackDown?
could be the contender against Roman.
Yeah.
And I already said it, but I think probably Ricochet.
Okay. Let's see.
He's entertaining. It's easy. It's superhero in the ring. He's someone the crowd will always cheer for. They will be behind the idea that, man, maybe this is his time. Maybe he can do it. I think that's an opportunity. I would have liked for Imperium to have stuck around on SmackDown and to have been Gunther.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Because I know if we end up with Theory on SmackDown, Theory won't be a believable contender against Roman. I feel like we have to get Theory on the SmackDown since we put the IC title on the Raw.
That is about to happen. Yeah, I think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't think the crowd's not going to buy the idea that they're going to let Theory go over. But there could be that little engine that could piece of hope with Ricochet that, man, maybe he'll be able to do it. And I think having it be an NXT guy, being the guy kind of competing against Roman, is a good story to tell because it gives Roman an avenue to reference back to Triple H's introduction of the new title where he talked about how this champion is going to be a defending champion. I think an NXT guy has to be the next feud for Roman because Roman has to respond to that. I don't think that was done as a burial of Roman. I think it was done to set up the NXT competitor against Roman for Roman to talk shit about Triple H and go, you're concerned about me not being a defending champion. You're going to send you keep having all these call-ups from NXT, and none of them even stand a chance against me. They're not even on my level. All these years on the main roster, they're still not the guy. They could do it with Finn.
Nah.
Do it with Finn.
I think Judgment Day going to Raw. Stay on Raw.
You think they're going to stay on Raw?
I think Judgment Day will be on Raw. Because if Bianca is going to SmackDown, Ripley is got to stay on Raw.
They could combine those belts.
Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Triple H ain't a fan of the two belts. Just like they said they're gonna break the tag team belts up. They're gonna get broken. It's gonna happen.
See, I don't think I don't know. I'm on the fence on whether I think each show should have champions or you just have champions crossing the lines of the shows. I feel like WWE can do champions right, having the Raw tag champs. They did it good for years. And then you just bring them together twice a year, Night of Champions and Survivor Series. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, think about it. They trying to do their back to their brand pay-per-view shows. So Raw and SmackDown gonna have their own pay-per-view. So they're gonna need a Raw and SmackDown women tag men champion.
Who do you think should be the one to face Roman next?
My pick, I want to be Lashley.
And Lashley being the guy
he had the belt.
Would really work. Bobby Lashley is the last guy to pin Roman clean, right?
Mm-hmm. That'd be my pick.
So I think Lashley's probably a good pick.
That'd be my or we'll just go outside the box here. If he does get drafted to SmackDown, I would like to see Baron Corbin.
Really?
Baron Corbin. Call me crazy, but I would like to see Baron Corbin.
I've talked about it a bunch of times, man. I like Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin's a very good pro wrestler. I think he has a move set that's really good. Things look clean. That out of the ring, around the turnbuckle post,
Yeah,
back into the ring thing that he does,
that's the
it
right there. Yeah.
looks great. Every time he does it, it looks great. He's very safe. Baron's never hurt anyone in the ring. He puts every opponent down flat and perfect. No one's at risk in our facing Baron Corbin. He takes care of his opponent. He's a very, very good pro wrestler. He just gets really bad creative.
They need to bring back the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin.
Yeah, they didn't get a chance enough on main roster, I don't think.
I'm just more mad.
I think there's a story to tell there with Baron in some way, and there's a better. I mean, I don't even think he's a guy who even necessarily needs a gimmick. He could just be Baron Corbin. I mean, he former NFL player, former Golden Gloves boxer. He's a guy who they just gotta stop giving him crap. But every time they give him something terrible, he does a good job with it. Just some of the shit's just bad. Happy Corbin was just bad, but he did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Sad Corbin was ridiculous, but he did a good job. I don't know. I don't know why they can't give him something good.
I would say before he came to Authority, Corbin, he was good.
That was dumb.
Even when he was
That
Authority,
made no sense.
I mean, when he did the End of Days on Becky Lynch, boom, that's when you know he got heat. That's when you knew when to hate him. And he did it perfect, too.
Yeah, his finish. And Corbin's a guy I think is, I don't know, he might be one of those missed opportunities in WWE. Someone who they could have given him something good and done something with the guy.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just mad that they let Drew kick out the End of Days. That was it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. It wasn't necessary. I think Drew resigned.
He did.
I think so.
I mean, he got drafted to Raw, so hey, he's back on the market. He ain't going nowhere.
I think Cody being the Raw guy is good.
I think Cody's not gonna get the belt at Night of Champions. He ain't gonna win. He's gonna be in the. I'm gonna say this. He will be in the final four of whoever this gauntlet tournament or over the rope match is gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but I'm gonna say he'll be in the final four.
You don't think they let him win it?
I don't see it just yet. Not just yet. Because you got to think about it. That's like just saying, oh, you lost to Roman at WrestleMania. Bam. Night of Champions. You're going to win. Nah. They want to keep going. I'm going to say SummerSlam is where he wins the belt.
So you think Night of Champions, they crown somebody else champion, then Cody takes that belt off of that person at SummerSlam?
Exactly. SummerSlam. You got to have that pay-per-view built up. You got to have the storyline go strong. You got to have it so that Cody, like, he's going to win. Ugh. You got to make it feel like he's not going to be the champion. He's not going. And then that one moment. So from now to SummerSlam, I'm saying SummerSlam, he's going to win the belt. That's my prediction. Night of Champions. I really want to be somebody different. Somebody different. I don't want to be your regular, like, Orton is. Somebody who ain't never had the damn belt. That's what I want to be. That's why
You don't think Cody should be the first one to get it?
I don't think he should not be the first one to get it. No. That is why I said it's probably going to be Austin Theory getting it first. Then it's going to be the Cody. It's going to be somewhere around that. But I would rather be somebody new. Cody been there before, but I'd rather be somebody new that ain't never, ever had the world title. That's just me. Because if you look at it, every major time they had this open challenge for the new champion, it's always been the same faces, the same people winning. You never got nobody new. That's why when years ago, what was it? That when Jinder Mahal won the belt, they had all never WWE champions in it that won. Sorry, my bad. I had to bring it up. It popped in my head. The first thing popped in my head. Sorry. But you got to think about it. Fresh, new, never. And that's what this is going to be, Night Champions. Think about it. Even Triple H said, this is about the future. So it's going to be somebody who ain't never had the belt. And my money is on
But Cody ain't never had it, man.
He had the outside world championship belt, not the WWE.
He wasn't AEW champ?
He was in New Japan World Heavyweight. How you say that?
IWGP?
Thank you.
And he was in NWA.
Thank you.
But those don't. I mean, IWGP is kind of important sometimes. But
I'm saying, Cody, not yet. It's not Cody's time yet. He's good, but it's not his time yet. Trust me. Even if in Saudi Arabia, they probably won't win. But I'm telling you, they're gonna wait for SummerSlam to get Cody the belt.
what if Finn wins?
Hey, I'd be cool with that too. I'd be
He
cool.
was the first Universal. Maybe he should have this one first too.
Hey, I'm saying, like, look, Finn, everybody, he ain't never had the belt. He had it, but that was like an accident happened. He technically had it, what, 12 hours?
We'll call it 24, but yeah.
Okay, 18 at the most. He had for at least 18 hours. That's worse than Kristen's run, 18 hours.
So Austin Theory is your pick to be the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes. And here's why. Because I'm going to say this. He's going to stay on Raw. At Backlash, Bobby wins and takes the title to SmackDown.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that booking. I feel like the first World Heavyweight Champion should either be Cody or Seth. But I don't hate the idea of it being Austin Theory. It will definitely be heel heat. That's for sure.
That's the point of it. You got to look at it this way. Would you rather have a champion that everybody loves or the champion that everybody hates being the very first champion? Because you got to think about it. Saturday night, back to Monday. I don't know how long it takes to get from Austria. I don't know how long it takes. But when they get back to Monday night on Raw, it's either going to be a cheering or the biggest boos in the world. I'd rather see the boos more than cheering. I would rather see somebody get most heated hate in the world than seeing the same old lovely, ha, yeah, you won. I knew it. We believed in you. I'd rather see that happen. The boo, we hate you. And then rub it in everybody's face, telling how they suck, and then bam, hold that title 90 days to SummerSlam. Cool, great. I'm okay with that.
I mean,
I'll be really okay.
I am the guy always saying you're better off having a heel champion than a babyface champion. Well, on that, we're going to call that a show on the prediction that Austin Theory is going to be the first World Heavyweight Champion, this new era in WWE. I'm not ready to make a prediction yet. So that's Joe's prediction. I don't have one yet, but I'm not mad at that prediction. Tomorrow night, night 2 of the draft, who's first round draft pick? Who you got? I don't even know who's watching.
I'm going to say the Judgment Day stay on Raw.
Yeah, that's going to be my pick. Judgment Day gets drafted to Raw. All right. Well, that is it. It's been Don't Say the F Word. We are a pro wrestling and combat sports podcast. We don't use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Mark doesn't use the F word whenever he talks about professional wrestling. Shouldn't let your friends use it either. We will try to be back sooner rather than later. We'll figure something out. We're working on getting some folks to join us on the show. Good chance that it's not going to be my fault, but we may be joined by Gene Snitsky later in the week. So, yep.
Oh, lucky.
We'll talk to you later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.